Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News Channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. Now, in a very interesting conversation on Funky Friday, Pastor Jamal Bryant sat down with former NFL star Cam Newton to discuss the troubling and often misleading narratives surrounding race and crime when Black people are concerned, right? Now, Jamal Bryant, known for his unflinching stance on social justice, he specifically addresses the disproportionate focus on Black-on-Black crime by the media, while similar crimes involving other racial groups are either downplayed or ignored. Let's have a look at this video.
It took a white man to tell me. He says, how is it when a Black man kill a Black man, it's not really outrage?
Yeah.
But when a white man kills a Black man, it's gonna start a riot.
The American media has manipulated the narrative of crime. Black on Black crime is a made-up thing. You have never heard white on white crime. Never heard the Asian on Asian crime. They have tried to fraction and compartmentalize us to feel as if where the crime is where we are.
Go ahead.
The lead murderers in America are white men. The lead robbers in America are white men. The largest amount of rapists are white men. The highest number of domestic abusers is white men. The highest number of arrested pedophiles is white men. The greatest number of drug dealers arrested is white men. But if you ask the average American who are the proponents of crime, is a Black face to it. They're now trying to create this narrative that the immigrants are bringing into crime because they never want to own up to what it is that they have done. Part of our responsibility is to pull the sheets off. We had a shooting here in Georgia not long ago. A young man named Colt, 14 years old, went and shot up his high school. His father's now being charged. Can you imagine what conversation me and you would be having if Colt was Black and Colt's Black father gave him a gun? The television, the internet would explode on the irresponsibility of Black fathers, on why it is that young Black men have guns and are carrying guns. It has always shifted to make Black men feel hyper-aggressive, hypersexual, and hyper-criminalized. It's part of a larger, historic, original sin of America that always criminalizes and points their fingers at Black men when it's absolutely not true. The overwhelming majority, Cam, of Black men who are under penal supervision are under penal supervision for nonviolent offenses. They're on ankle bracelets, home monitors, on parole, on probation, for possession, not for distribution. It may not sound like it's significant, but it's very meaningful. And so that's why it is that we've got to ask the hard and the difficult questions. Where is criminal justice in America? And is justice just us?
Now, as Jamal Bryant pointed out, right, the statistics tell a very different story from the one portrayed by mainstream media. Despite the overwhelming evidence that white men commit a range of crimes at alarming rates, it's always Black men who are often painted as the primary threats to society. And I personally believe that this narrative, steeped in history, actually stems from centuries of criminalizing Black men and making them appear hyper-aggressive and hypersexual and hyper-criminalized in the eyes of the public. Now, this isn't just about an issue of media bias, right? It's systemic and deeply ingrained in how America and the American society perceives Black men, particularly when it comes to crime. I mean, the images we see in the movies and TV shows and even news reports often, I believe, contribute to these harmful stereotypes. But Jamal is making it clear that this is not just a perception problem, it's a justice issue. I mean, his words highlight an issue that is all too familiar for many Black communities, and not just in the US, right, but in globally. The criminal justice system in America, according to Jamal, is rigged against Black men, often entrapping them in a cycle of punishment for minor infractions, while white offenders, even for serious crimes, are often given more lenient treatment. But perhaps even more strikingly, Jamal calls attention to the media's double standard when it comes to how they cover incidents involving white criminal versus Black ones. I mean, for example, right, he cites the case of a recent shooting involving a white teenager and his father, where the media did not give the same level of scrutiny or condemnation as they would had it been a Black individuals involved in that situation. And this double standard, I believe, isn't just media coverage. It's about perception and power. It's about how Black people are viewed, and not only as suspects, but as inherently dangerous and violent people. And this narrative feeds into a vicious cycle, influencing how police interact with Black communities, how the courts hand down sentences, and also how the public views Black individuals, particularly Black men. And as someone from South Africa, where issues of race and justice have been at the forefront of our national conversation, it's honestly hard not to draw parallels to our own history. The system in the US might look different, but the roots of the racial inequality are strikingly very similar, and which is that they're deeply embedded in the historical context of control, oppression, and criminalization. And Jamal Bryant's interview, I believe, it's not just a conversation about American issues. It's a global conversation about how Black communities are perceived and punished. It's about the way the media too often perpetuates a narrative that dehumanizes Black people, reducing them to nothing more than just criminals in the eyes of the public. And this is a conversation I think we need to have here more than often. Because the media's manipulation of crime statistics and narratives is a tool of division and control, not just in America, but globally. And it's a complex and painful issue. But as Jamal said, we must begin the truth and the transparency and accountability. And only then can we actually begin to break down the systems of injustice that have existed for far too long. What are your thoughts on this? Please, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. We really want to hear from you. What is your opinion? And while you're at it, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again.